Hi everyone, it's Tatiana from Tatiana's Everyday Food and welcome back to my kitchen. So today I wanted to show you guys how to make a very delicate and beautiful Italian cake called Boccone Dolce. So this cake is made with layers of crispy meringue, and then in between we're going to spread some chocolate ganache, whipped cream, and tons of fresh fruit. So this cake is actually really easy to make and it's going to surprise everybody at your dinner table. So for the meringue layers, I recommend getting them done ahead of time. You can either bake them the night before or even a couple days before and then just keep them in an airtight container until you're ready to serve. So I'm going to place my 6 large egg whites into my mixer bowl, and you want to make sure your bowl is very clean. So make sure you wash it beforehand. Next, I'm going to add 3/4 cup of white granulated sugar. And I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of cream of tartar. So if you don't have this, this is okay. Your egg whites are gonna turn out just fine, but it adds an extra bit of stabilization for your egg whites. So it's gonna make sure that the egg whites stick together. Now we're gonna turn our mixer on. You wanna whisk your egg whites until they're really stiff and they hold their shape really well, and they're gonna start to lose their gloss. Now I'm just gonna transfer this into my pastry bag. I have a large sheet of parchment paper here, and I use an 8-inch pan to trace 3 large circles onto my parchment paper. And now we're gonna pipe our meringue onto our paper. So this makes transferring the meringue super easy. I'm gonna start on the outer edge and just work my way in, and you wanna make the layer as even as possible. Next, I'm going to take a spatula and just spread the meringue evenly. Just even off the top, straighten everything out. So I have my oven preheating to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to place the meringue on the parchment paper directly onto my oven rack. So I've learned from a couple different times that baking them on the rack directly instead of using a pan yields a very crispy meringue layer. So I'm going to bake it at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for about 2.5 hours until that shell is really crispy. So you'll know it's ready when you can tap onto the center and it sounds hollow inside. And now for our whipped cream. So I'm gonna put 2 cups of very cold cream into my mixer bowl. And you wanna make sure it's cold, otherwise it won't whisk together like you want it. And to this, I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And we're gonna add half a cup of white granulated sugar. I'm gonna whisk my heavy cream until stiff peaks form. For our chocolate ganache, I've heated half a cup of heavy cream until it was simmering, and to this I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of dark chocolate chips. You can also use milk chocolate chips for this. I'm gonna pour that right in, and then just wanna whisk this until it's melted and smooth. Once your chocolate ganache is smooth, I'm gonna set it aside until I'm ready to use it. And now for my fruit filling. So today I'm going to be using some of my favorite fruit and berries. We're going to be using red raspberries, blueberries. I have some sliced strawberry and sliced kiwi. And you can add whatever type of fruit you like. I also like adding nectarines, mangoes, maybe some mandarin wedges. Anything that you like, you can put into this cake. And now we have everything ready to assemble our cake with. So for the first step, I'm going to place my first meringue layer onto my cake platter, and I'm going to add a little bit of that chocolate ganache right in the center. So I'm going to use my spatula and just kind of spread out a thin layer of that on the bottom. And I've also transferred some into a disposable pastry bag, or you can use a Ziploc bag. And we're going to spread a little bit of that chocolate ganache kind of over the sides, just as garnish. Just so you could see that when you cut the cake open. And then we're going to top it with a little bit of our whipped cream. I'm going to top with my next meringue layer. Just going to press it right in. And we're going to do the exact same thing for our next 2 layers. So I'm going to add a little bit of chocolate ganache again. Spread that out. I'm going to pipe little rosettes of the whipped cream on the top. And now our gorgeous cake is ready to be eaten. Now any leftover fruit that you have, just serve it on the side as an extra serving of fruit. So for cutting this cake, you want to use an extra sharp knife and cut right through the layers. And I recommend serving this cake shortly after you assemble it so the meringue layers stay really nice and crispy. I'll lift that right onto my plate here. This cake looks so beautiful. So I combined all my leftover fruit into one bowl, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of that fruit on the side for each cake serving. Just adds a little bit more freshness, a little bit more goodness to the plate. And now it's time to give our cake a try. I just want to say all the colors on this plate look absolutely amazing. So I'm going to try to get a little bit of everything, some of the meringue, the fruit, of course. I love kiwi and blueberry especially. They add a little bit of tartness to this. This is so good. This is such a great combination of flavors. You get that crispy meringue, that sweet chocolate ganache, the whipped cream. It's so light and airy, and it really complements this dish. And then of course you have tons and tons of fresh fruit and berries. You guys are gonna love this cake. It's so easy to put together, and it's so delicious. It's perfect after a dinner get together. It's so light, it really complements any meal. I love it when you guys share my video recipe with your family and friends on Facebook and Instagram. And I also like to see your creation. So if you do make it, you could tag your photos with Tatiana's Everyday Food, and I'll be able to see it on my profile. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video recipe, and hope to see you next time.